Hare Krishna. What is violence for the infectant is benevolence for the infected. The infectant refers to the agent which causes infection, like a bacteria or a virus or some other microbe. Now, when a doctor is supposed to treat a patient and who's been infected, and doctor has the medicine, but the doctor doesn't administer the medicine, does not has the capacity but doesn't has the capacity to treat but does not treat the patient, then the doctor may say, I did not do nothing, I did not do anything. But by doing nothing, the doctor did a serious wrong thing. So that is, the doctor would be culpable by negligence. So similar would be the situation of a martial guardian of society, a kshatriya, who, if antisocial elements are wreaking havoc in society, if the martial guardian did not protect those people, then society would get affected adversely. Society would come under tribulation. Society would come under havoc, and the Kshatriya who had the power to protect, the Kshatriya did not protect, the Kshatriya would be culpable. That negligence of the Kshatriya would be culpable. That's why the Bhagavad-gita warns us in 3.4 that inaction is no protection from reaction, that inaction is culpable. न कर्मणामनारम्भान् नैष्कर्म्यं पुरुषोऽश्नुते न च सन्न्यसनादेव सिद्धिं समधिगच्छति. न कर्मणाम् anarambhan, that not starting work, not endeavoring for work. Naishkarmyam purushośnute, that does not lead to naishkarmya, that does not lead to freedom from reaction. Na cha sannyasana deva, and similarly that taking sannyas, siddhim samadhi gacchati, does not lead to siddhi, does not lead to perfection. So essentially what the Gita is stating here is that we cannot assume that just if I don't do anything, I will not get any reaction. Sometimes not doing a particular thing may lead to a big reaction. Now, in the Bhagavad-gita, Arjuna's reservation against fighting is understandable because he doesn't want to kill, especially kill unnecessarily. Who wants bloodshed? Although Arjuna is Kshatriya, he is also a sensitive, compassionate spiritualist. So now, here to understand the rationale for the Bhagavad-gita's telling Arjuna to do his duty and to do his duty of fighting, and Krishna is telling Arjuna that if you don't do fighting, you will become culpable. So to understand this, let's look at what a doctor does when the doctor offers treatment. Normally when the doctor gives medicines, antibiotics or whatever, that medicine is actually violence for the infectant. Now when we say that, okay, they become free from the disease, that means the infecting germs have been killed. So treatment is itself violent. But it's violent for the infectant, but it is benevolent for the infected. The nature of existence in this world is that often one life form becomes the death of one life form is necessary for the life of another. And that's why it's a survival of the fittest. Now, survival of the fittest is the governing principle for subhuman beings. Now, who prevail on the principle of might is right. But in the human species, if we also live according to our lower animal nature, then we too will be governed by similarly the idea, the fight for the survival of the fittest. But we human beings are meant to live according to our higher spiritual nature, and the principles and practices by which our higher nature gets expressed, those principles and practices are the essence of dharma. So dharma is not simply some set of dogmatic rituals, but it is a system of dynamic principles meant to bring out our spiritual side, meant to bring about our higher, nobler side. Now, in general, if people follow dharma, then everybody can become elevated spiritually. But still, there are some people who who brazenly refuse to follow dharma, who simply want to delight in their lower side and exploit others. So sometimes to curb such elements requires violence. Now, although it may involve violence to them, that violence is benevolence for the rest of the social body. Just as violence towards the infectants is benevolence for the infected body. So, when we see the Gitas stating that violence is not culpable, but in Arjuna's case, non-violence is culpable, we need to see that this violence is not just violence, but actually benevolence. Because Arjuna got this vision, and that's why he shed his hesitation to fight and fought heroically after hearing the Bhagavad-gita. Thank you. Hare Krishna.